Okay.
Yeah, we've got some people in the audience here, and we've got a couple people on the line for Real America in the meeting as well. They're currently muted, but when we're ready for them, they can unmute and discuss their case.
Sounds good.
So,
And you're in the room, I don't think it's quite 7 o'clock in the room yet, is that correct?
not yet.
My iPad,
Oh,
7.
it is.
It does say 7?
I need you
My
to
iPad does.
for who's here.
All right, well, you just heard the gavel go down. Welcome, everyone, to the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, May 26, 2020, at 7 p.m. We are called to order. Do we have an approval of the minutes?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month.
One second, guys. We're gonna do a roll call for attendance. We can see on the screen, but we just need to do it to keep it formal. So Tom,
Okay. Yes, present?
Rick,
Present.
Tammy,
Present?
Dan,
Yes, present.
and Jeff.
Yep, present.
All right. Now we can move on with the approval.
Okay, Tammy's already made the motion. Is it seconded?
Second.
And that was by Jeff? Okay, all those, do we need to do a roll call for a
Yes,
vote?
please.
Yes,
Justin?
we do. So Tom.
Okay, I so approve. Rick, do you approve?
No, have
Approve.
Justin do it. He's got a list.
Kim wants the roll call to be in the same order each time. So
Okay,
we'll do Tom again,
approve.
Rick,
Approve.
Tammy,
Approved.
Dan,
Present.
No, approve or not.
Approve. Whatever.
Jeff.
Approve.
Okay, we have.
Okay. Beautiful.
All right, now Tom, you can.
Item number 3 is unfinished business, 01/03/2020, on 1121 Country Club Lane, variance from development standards.
Correct, and the address on the minute, or the agenda is not correct. The actual address for the site, which was published accurately, is 1118 Country Club Lane. Just
Okay.
so we have a record of that change.
Sorry about that.
Okay,
So the petitioner is requesting a variance from development standards to permit a 22-foot front yard setback instead of the permitted 25-foot setback. The petitioner would like to construct an attached garage, but they need to have a deviation of 3 feet from the existing regulations. There is an attached plan in your packet that shows the location of the proposed garage. The property is located in a part of town characterized by lake cottages, which many of these lake cottages have non-conforming existing setbacks, so they were constructed before the existing regulations. The proposed garage does not encroach on any public easements or right-of-ways. So it is the opinion of the planning department that the approval of this variance would not have a detrimental impact on the adjacent properties or public right-of-way, nor would the approval drastically change the character of this neighborhood, since many of the other adjacent properties are not conforming with the existing regulation. So with that, Tom can open it up.
all right, thank you very much. Is there any questions or comments before we open the meeting from the Board of Zoning Appeals?
No.
No. Nothing.
Not yet.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience or on the phone who would like to speak in favor of it?
So we have to give out the phone number for comment. So I want to do that right now. So anyone watching the stream can text this number. So it is 574-377-0237. That's 574-377-02. I'm sorry, did I say 37? I gotta reread it because I think I messed up the end. So 574-377-0287. That's 574-377-0287. And that's to comment in for or against this petition. We'll open it for about 3 to 5 minutes here for comment.
You want to charge or?
Okay, Justin, Am I still on Zoom and live?
Yes, and you can take George's comments now, but we just needed to read that number out for people that are not present.
All right, is George available to make the comment?
Yes,
Can you see
Before we do
me?
that, Justin, was there a mailing on this?
yes, the mailing went out.
Okay.
Yeah, I've talked to all the neighbors
Anyone
individually,
favorable?
plus, yeah, I don't think we got anything back.
Nothing back.
Nothing back on the mailing.
It is,
Okay, very good.
I live at 1121, Tom. I live at 1121 Country Club Lane. That's why it said that on the,
I messed up.
1118 is the guest house for the property. It's across the road, and I bought up the land around it. It's a nice little 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, but it's the one thing it never had is a garage, and we just thought we'd at least get the variance. I thought it was more than 25 feet back, but it's not. In fact, the road in front of the house curves right in front of our land across from 1121. The road literally is on our property. It's supposed to be so. But Jeremy won't do anything about it. But anyway, so I'm just asking for a variance to stay within the standards that we're supposed to abide by.
All right, does that conclude your comments, George?
I think it does.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to add any additional favorable comments to this?
Nope.
All right, Justin, I move that we go to anyone who'd like to speak against this petition.
Yes, and I think we should give it until 7:08. That would give them at least 4 or 5 minutes to have reached out. We don't have any text messages on the line yet, but we can, if we wait 2 more minutes, we'll see if anything comes in.
Okay.
We need music, like when we're on hold on the phone.
No, that would be very helpful. I can't see the clock there. Is it 7:08 yet? I've got 7:07 on my computer.
It's getting close. We got a few more seconds here.
Not very.
So there's really no way we can tell if anyone's trying to reach us either by text or by phone until they call in, and if they call in?
Yeah, they would need we have some people that logged on to the Zoom meeting, but yeah, they would need to text this line. So we'll just keep watching it. It is 7:08 at the moment, so we can move on. If I do see any texts that come in from previous cases, I'll let you guys know, but that's why we try to give a couple minutes, because there's a lag on the live stream as well. So we're good to move to the next case now. Once you guys take action.
I need to make a
I was
motion.
going to say, don't we need to do the motion and a
Yes.
vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion in favor of 0103-2020.
I so move.
I'm going to go ahead and make the motion to approve case number 2020-0301.
Tammy, motion, seconded by?
This is Jeff.
Jeff, seconded?
Yep.
Okay, Justin, do your roll call.
Yes, so Tom,
I approve.
Rick,
Approve.
Tammy,
Approved.
Dan,
Approve.
Jeff.
Approved.
All right, that covers our unfinished business. We'll move on to the next agenda item, which is new business. First one on the agenda is 0104-2020, and that is a use of variance by Superior Excavation. Justin.
So the petitioner is requesting a special exception to allow an outdoor storage area to be located within an I-2 zoning district. The property is located along the eastern stretch of US 30 and is currently an empty grass lot. Outdoor warehousing uses are permitted in I-2 zoning districts through special exception per the municipal code, provided that they meet the requirements of section NN of section 12.2, as well as section 13.6, the development plans of the municipal code. It is important to note that the eastern adjacent property has a unincorporated mobile home park. So just know that there's a residential use on the eastern adjacent property. The potential of having outdoor storage is not necessarily a concern because this is an industrial area where outdoor warehousing is permitted through special exception. If approved, the petitioner will be required to screen the area with an opaque fence and adhere to the rules regarding special exceptions for this use. Based on the information provided, it is the opinion of the planning department that this case could be viewed favorably when measured by the criteria delineated within the findings of fact.
Thank you, Justin. Any comments from the board before we open it up?
Could you ask about mailings on this one?
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not. Good point, Rick. Was there a mailing on this particular item?
Yes,
Yes.
Anything unfavorable or favorable?
we didn't receive any comments on this one.
All right. Any phone calls or any other contact?
No.
All right, very good. Thank you, Rick. Any other comments or questions from the board?
Question. How
Go
tall,
ahead.
how tall does the opaque fence have to be?
8 feet.
8 feet?
Yes.
Got it.
All right, any other questions or comments? Is there anyone on the phone or in the audience who would like to speak on behalf of this petition?
Oh, okay.
Dale does.
Good evening. We sent via email the file. Did everyone get this? Our request that has it in there? I mean, have you read through there?
I don't know. Justin, do you know what he's?
I would have to, let me.
Okay, I'll just read through it then. If
Yeah.
I didn't want to read through it if you'd already taken it
Yeah,
down.
no,
Dale, state your name.
Oh, Dale Custer, owner of Superior Developing, owner of the land. We're requesting outdoor storage. A little background on the property. We've had numerous, well, some people that wanted to buy the land, but the soil conditions are always an issue. We have soil borings. I think we included one in just one page in our request. We do have the complete soil boring, if anybody wants to
And this,
look at it.
this is for the use of it as outdoor storage?
Yes.
Okay. This-
Yeah.
The next one will be the gravel part. I didn't know if
Right.
you were going into the
Right.
gravel part.
Well, it's kind of both because the outdoor storage is, we developed that plan because building on it is so hard to prevent
Yeah.
indoor type storage or other uses. This was done, this particular report was done in 2003. It was when Great Lakes Chloride wanted to purchase the land, and they did borings, and basically they recommended that it was going to be very difficult or impossible to, I would say impossible, nothing impossible, very difficult to build on. On one of the recommendations, C, it says the peat marl soils extend to depths of 17 feet at test borings 1, 2, and 5. The test holes appear fairly well representative of the site soils on the Warsaw, Indiana site. And then it goes on to say that it just isn't real practical. So I guess soil conditions is why it hasn't been really developed. We've done some of our own digging. There is some good or better areas up along the highway. And there's a stockpile, there's a good of sand, there's a good spot there. But most of the other ground is just detrimental or near impossible to build on. Thus the outside storage, because that, if the ground settles, it isn't quite so bad, I can rework it. So the history is, it wasn't developable because of the soil conditions. So I'll read it here. If you've got it, I'll stop reading. We are requesting special exception for outdoor storage property within the I-2 zoning district. We're planning to use the subject property in the parcel ID as an indoor and outdoor storage facility. If the variance is approved, we will portion the property to store autos, boats, RVs, and shipping containers. We don't plan on storing any junk. We believe that they would not negatively impact the surrounding areas anyway because there are similar properties with similar uses in the immediate vicinity. Adjoining property to the west, as you mentioned, has been approved for outdoor storage. We believe that since the neighborhood to the west has been approved, our request is consistent with the area and reasonable. We provided a rough drawing with the papers. We have a bigger one if anybody can or interested in seeing it.
They have it included.
Had they included, okay. So in a nutshell, to kind of sum it up, keep it short, we think it
All right,
would fit
sounds
in.
like your comments have concluded.
I want,
What I'm seeing here, though, is we may have drifted into covering items 1 and 2, the 0204 and the item 0104 together. Justin, you want to just make sure that we've got everybody on the same page that it's 0104?
Yeah, he tied it into why there hadn't been a building constructed. Were you gonna, I think you wanted to say one more thing?
yeah, I was just going to say, kind of to sum it up, I guess I think it'll fit in with most of the neighbors. I don't think it negatively impact them, and it'll allow developing on land which wouldn't otherwise be developable.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, unless you have questions on that one, and it kind of does tie in with the next request.
Okay. So does, Tom, you can open it up for the board questions now.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions from the board on this issue?
None here.
Negative.
Okay.
I think my only question is, this is strictly outdoor storage, because on the next one, and I don't think I have my papers mixed up, on the next one, on the preliminary plan, Justin, it mentions some indoor, possible, it says indoor storage.
We're hoping to also find some soils, and we would like to think that maybe there are along US 30, that maybe do some indoor storage, which I think is permitted use for that.
I think it is too. Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
So yes, it's not strictly outdoor storage, where we've got the potential for some indoor storage there as well.
Yes, we want to go for outdoor storage, but we might put some indoor if we can find good soils.
Okay. Okay.
So, question, Justin.
This is strictly outdoor storage at this point on this petition, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So is it
Thank
okay?
you, Tammy. Any other questions or comments from the board?
Hey, Tom, hold on.
Yes.
Justin, is it okay to do the indoor storage if the soil conditions permit?
Yeah, it's a permitted use.
It is?
tonight.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
just outdoor is not permitted without a special exception.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, thank you, Dan. Any other comments from the board?
Negative.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept it as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Rick. All in favor? Oh, sorry, Justin, do your roll call. I approve.
And we don't have any messages on the line here. So I want to give out that number again before we close it. So if anyone's watching and wants to call in to speak in favor or against this petition, 574-377-0287. That's 574-377-0287. And I think we should give that a couple minutes to allow comment.
All right, we'll resume at 7:20. I see Scott has joined us, and he's got a beautiful view behind him. That's nice. It's actually a good thing we have Scott with us as the attorney instead of our former counselor, who probably would be going nuts about now with all these 2-minute.
All right, we haven't received any comments, so we can go ahead with the roll.
All right, sounds good. Let's have a roll call vote. Again, I approve.
Rick?
I approve.
Tammy?
I approve.
Dan?
I approve.
And Jeff?
I approve.
That passes unanimously. We can now move on to next item on the agenda, which is 0204-2020, variance, the same petitioner, and I believe this one has to do with the parking lot. Is that correct, Justin?
Yes. So.
Hey, could you read it?
Yes, so the petitioner is seeking a variance from development standards to use gravel as an outdoor storage warehouse surface. The petitioner has expressed a concern about poor soil quality in this area, and that may contribute to the failure of the impervious surface. The attached plan shows the proposed gravel area. The section of the ordinance in Article 13 states that parking areas shall be finished with a hard surface inside the city limits. So you can see that the municipal code requires that, but obviously they're wanting to do a gravel lot there. Because most of the development in this area took place prior to the annexation, the majority of the surrounding lots do not have hard surfaces. Instead, they use gravel for parking areas. The use of gravel as a surface would have no significant adverse impact on the surrounding area, and the existing development along the corridor would be consistent with the existing development along the corridor. Based on the information provided, it is the opinion of the planning department that this case could be viewed favorably when measured by the criteria delineated within the findings of fact. So again, we're looking at the same lot there, but they're just asking to be able to use a gravel lot for the outdoor storage area.
Very good. Any other comments to add to that, Justin?
No.
With that, we can open it up to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Any comments by the board members or questions?
None here.
None here.
Down here.
All right, very good. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor of this? And I think the petitioner already included the comments in his prior, so unless you've got something to add, we could probably pass on that. Is that,
It's pretty close to about a lot of the same reasons. Once again, it's the soils. We can, if it have a stone and it settles, we can put more stone on it. So I guess I can go through all this, but it sounds like.
no, I don't think it's necessary. You did a
Okay.
good job on the first pass.
Okay. I don't want to be too long-winded, but I want to get.
No, that's
answer
fine,
the questions.
but you want to get the job done, I
Yeah.
understand.
So,
All right, is there anyone else to speak in favor? Is there anyone to speak in opposition to this petition? And Justin, you want to give that another minute or two?
Yeah, and I'll give the phone number out again, and then we'll do a couple minutes there. So 574-377-0287. That's 574-377-0287, if you have any comments about this petition. So probably 7:26, we could resume.
Thank you, Justin.
Jeff, what islands are you promoting on that T-shirt?
I don't know. My wife bought the shirt for me.
Trying to help you plug something, but.
Cayman.
Cayman Islands, that sounds good.
What?
Cayman
There we go.
Islands. Cayman Islands, all right, that sounds good.
I had to stay home and work. She's the one working.
Bummer.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, all you got was the t-shirt, right?
All I got, that's right. All I got was a t-shirt. Yeah.
Funny how that works. Just point of order, we did have two of the petitions withdrawn, 0205 and 0305. Those will not be on the agenda tonight. We have two other items to go once we conclude 0204. All right, Justin, I have 26, is that correct?
Yes, we have no comments that have come in over the phone, so we're good to move on.
Very good, we can then call for a motion.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the 2020-0402.
So moved, seconded by.
I'll second. Jeff?
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Go ahead and do your roll call.
So Tom,
Yes, I approve.
Rick,
Approved.
Tammy,
Yes.
Dan,
Approve.
Jeff.
Approve.
That goes unanimously. There we go. We'll now move on to the next item on the agenda, which is 0105-2020, County Road 200.
Thanks, Dale.
North. Real Development is the petitioner, or Real American Development, sorry. Justin, can you make your comments, please?
Correct. So the petitioner is requesting a use variance to construct multifamily residential within an I-2 zoning district. The proposed development would have two phases consisting of affordable apartments in phase 1 and market rate apartments in phase 2. The petitioner has selected the site because of its proximity to shopping centers, schools, and the YMCA. Attached is a site plan that shows the locations of the proposed residential structures. The proposed site is flanked by Robinson Construction to the west, vacant industrial land to the east, wetlands to the south, and to the north is Lakeland Technology. It is the recommendation of the planning department that the board deny this request. Based on the fact that the airport industrial park was annexed in with the intention of providing space for light industrial and medical device manufacturing. Although there is a high demand for housing in the city, the planning department believes that the northern and southern residential TIF districts are a much more conducive environment for residential development. The planning department can work with the developer to find a more appropriate location and one that does not conflict with the comprehensive plan. So again, you can see the proposed plan attached in your packet there. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you, Justin. Any comments or questions from the board?
Mailings again.
Yes.
Yes, and we did receive one email. Did that get uploaded to Board Pack?
No, I did not.
No.
Approve.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
I thought it was already there.
Nor did I.
Okay, I don't have it in front of me, unfortunately, but we got one from Robinson Construction that was not in favor of the petition.
Right.
And they are the direct neighbor of that property, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
I have a copy of it. You want to read it?
No.
Okay.
All right, so that was the only return from the mailing, Justin, to confirm?
Yes.
That was Robinson, all right, very good. Any other comments or questions from the board? We will now open it up to the discussion. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor of this petition?
Yes, good evening. This is Jeff Ryan, Vice President of Development for Real America.
Good evening, Jeff.
Hello. As Jeremy said, we understand very much the housing need in Warsaw. We've been a community member of Warsaw with our Heron apartments for more than 15 years now and have seen very high occupancy. For the past year and a half, our Heron Preserve apartments have averaged above 98% occupancy. So we see, like I said, firsthand how much need there is for both affordable and for market rate housing in the area. We have been looking to expand for a few years now and have just had a very hard time finding a site that meets our criteria. We looked at the site that's behind Menards, but just could not come to terms with what they're requiring for their purchase contract. And then we also, because of the affordable nature of how we want to do some of the apartments, there are very strict criteria on that from the state for the financing to be able to get that done. What we love about the site that we have selected here is that once Mariners Drive is extended, it's going to be an easy walk to the YMCA. Having hospital and medical next door in the future is going to be great, and then also an easy walk down to the Current. It's very close to Myers and the other restaurants over there. There's lots of services and jobs in the area. It's easy access to downtown and to everything that's up on North Detroit Street. And importantly, it's a site that's on the market. There's very little on the market to be able to do apartments. And when I was talking about our financing, the state gives a scoring categories for determine who they allocate the tax credits, which is how we primarily finance our apartments. And to be able to get points, we have to be within 1 mile of 5 retail or service businesses, and one of those has to be a grocery store that has fresh produce. We cannot be on agricultural land, convert agricultural land over to apartments. You need to be within 1 mile of post-secondary education, within 1 mile of the top 25 largest employers in the county, and to be within a census tract that does not have existing affordable apartments. These are all scoring categories, and it's all about whoever gets the most points wins. And so the issue, we've looked at the north and south side TIF districts, and there are just not sites that meet this criteria that is in those areas that's both, that hits those. I mean, a lot of it is agricultural land, and we would lose points in our competitive application if we were to do that. They aren't close enough to a grocery store and other things. And just, like I said, not much is on the market in those areas. So, we very much want to expand. We think that we have been good members of the Warsaw community, and we would like to be so in the future with a new development on this location. And I understand the planning department's concern on this, but with the medical next door that's going to be there in the future into the south, and the fact that a good chunk of the land that we're proposing this for is a wetland, and we're able to stay out of that and have it be an amenity for our residents, we think that it would be a good use on this site.
All right, thank you. I assume that concludes your comments, Jeff?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Before we move on, are there any questions for Jeff on his comments? I have one. What is the density going to be of this? How many are you planning on building?
We're looking around 120 apartments on it, split pretty evenly between affordable and market rate.
And to qualify, is there any conditions on size of and accommodation?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Is there any other restrictions for what I think you're planning on for your financing? Regarding the interiors, is there a handicap issue or anything else?
Oh, no, we will do double the amount of accessible units from what the code requires. So instead of 5%, 10% will be fully accessible. All of our ground floor units, so that will be about a third of them will all be zero entry and adaptable. We're looking at a mix of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments to hit a broad segment of the population.
Thank you. Other questions from the board? Is there anyone else in the audience or on the phone who would like to speak in favor of this position? Justin, have you gotten any text or any other contact?
We have not. Again, I can give out that number, 574-377-0287. That's 574-377-0287.
All right, we'll resume at 7:37. And with that, Justin, I don't think there'd be a problem. Is there anyone that's contacted you this evening? We could always go back to anyone in favor. Is there anyone in opposition that's available now to make a comment? So we only have the one negative from Robinson Construction, correct?
Correct.
Mr. President, if we have a second, I was hoping Scott would read through the criteria on the form required to make this a valid exception.
And Scott, you're still muted. Justin, did you have any comments about the other lots that are available? I know that the city would prefer that they not use our commercial or industrial for this.
No, I know, I mean, there might be options where they could potentially use an existing building. I know Jeremy was working with them a little bit, so he might have some more insight into that, what might be available, that would be closer to their criteria. But, there may be some former industrial infill that they could do. I'm not sure if that's something they're interested in at all. I'm just saying that could be a possibility.
And I think it would be good to comment that there was a great deal of expense, cost involved with the city annexing this property. Is that correct, Justin?
It was a process that we went through. So it is important to provide space for industrial growth as well.
Yeah.
How much available space is still left in this annexed property, Justin?
I think I have the screen pulled up here. What's this sign? One second, I'm trying to pull it up here.
Yeah, you're getting there.
Well, I don't know if we need to be precise. I'm just wondering if, this doesn't fit within our plan, obviously.
Yeah, within the
And it's
airport
not
industrial park, it's not what the vision was for that area.
Right.
I'm just wondering if the city feels that this is also going to constrain future industrial development, which is what this land was designated for.
Correct.
Okay. I've got 7:38. Has there been any other comments come in opposition? Justin?
We have not received any additional comments.
With that, we'll close it to the public. Comments or questions by the board?
Well, if Scott doesn't have those points in front of him, can Justin read them off to us?
I have one, do you want them?
Kim, could you
So,
tell me?
for a use variance,
Hey, Scott.
the point that they would have to show is that the approval would not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community. So they have to show that, number one. The use of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. So they have to show that, number two. The need for the variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved. That's number three. Number four, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance would constitute an unnecessary hardship applied to the property for which the variance is sought. The fourth thing. And the last thing is the approval doesn't interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan. So those are the 5 things that they would have to show you that they meet those 5 criteria before you could consider approving it. and they have to show you each of those 5.
Thank you.
And they have to reach all 5, correct, Scott?
Correct. They have to, each of the 5, if they don't reach all 5 of those, then you may not approve the variance.
All right, thank you. I would think finding hardship would be a tough one on those 5. That's my
I agree.
initial comment.
I agree.
All right. I don't know about the plan, Justin. I think this does not fit with the plan as well. Is that correct?
It does not.
Yeah, the comprehensive plan would be a major conflict.
Okay.
Mr. President, I have 2 other points. One would be I'm disappointed that the Robinsons didn't indicate what their concerns were, so we can't really talk about point number 2 where it adversely affects neighbors. But I'm assuming they had something on their mind. And the other thing is I just have a bad feeling about residences and airports being close together. You start to expand an airport, next thing you know, residents realize there's an airport there, and then they've got these complaints about noise and whatever. And I'm not comfortable with it.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate those comments. Any other comments?
Hey, Tom, it does not, it doesn't fit with an industrial profile in that whole thing.
No, it doesn't. It's about as far away. I'm assuming what Mr. Ryan plans on building is about as far away from an industrial-looking building as we could get.
Yeah.
So there is some interesting parts of that neighborhood, that, including, I think there was a former residential house that's still there. All right, with that, any other comments by the board, or should we go to a motion to approve or decline?
Hey, this is Jeff. I'm gonna make a motion to decline. I just don't see that this is gonna work in any way. So that's my motion.
It's not going to carry any of the 5 points. So motioned. Anyone care to do a second?
Yeah.
Dan has seconded.
Seconded by Dan. Roll call vote. By the way, we're going to agree to the decline, just to be point of order there. Go ahead, Dustin.
So Tom,
I agree to decline.
Rick,
I agree to decline.
Tammy,
I agree to decline.
Dan,
I agree to decline.
and Jeff.
I agree to decline.
Well, Mr. Ryan, as good as that all sounded to me, I'm sorry to say that did not pass muster this evening. That is in decline.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope that you can find another spot, by the way, because it certainly sounds like you're going to build a good property and it's new.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Harrods apartments are really attractive.
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, they even have a dog
I
park.
think everybody, if you could find one piece of property that wasn't in the industrial park, we'd be all over this.
Yeah.
All right, very good, thank you. We'll now move on to the last item on the agenda, which is 0405-2020, 122 Fort Wayne Street. Variance from development standards. I believe the petitioner is the city of Warsaw. Justin?
Correct. So the petitioner is requesting a variance from development standards to permit a 0-foot front and side yard setback instead of the permitted 20-foot setback. The Parks Department is hoping to construct a new maintenance garage on the northwest corner of Fort Wayne Street and Indiana Street. Considering the parking requirements, lot configuration, it makes sense to locate the building on the south of the property. You can look at the attached plan for the layout, the proposed layout there. The American Legion and several other structures along this stretch of Fort Wayne Street have 0-foot front yard setbacks. So this deviation from development standards will not have a negative impact on the character of this neighborhood. The proposed maintenance garage will not encroach on any easements or create any visibility issues for the intersection. It is the opinion of the planning department that the approval of this variance would not have a detrimental impact on the adjacent properties or the right-of-way, nor would the approval drastically change the character of the neighborhood. We recommend that the board approve this variance request.
Thank you, Justin. Before we open it up, was there a mailing?
Yes.
Any negative or pro?
We didn't receive any comments.
All right, very good. Any comments or questions from the board?
Mr. President, I would like to ask Justin to make sure I understand. Are they talking about where the yellow house and the white garage structure are? And is it going to be that entire area is going to be this garage?
Well, there's an attached plan. Let me see if I might be able to pull it up on Google Earth. I'm not familiar if the house is yellow or not, but let me,
It's yellow.
oh, yes.
It's yellow.
Yeah, it'd be the yellow house then.
And what about the white garage? Is that included too?
Yes.
That big, used to be a car repair shop?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, I think so.
So does that come
Okay, so
down?
all that's getting torn down. Is that the idea? And a whole new building's going up?
Correct. Well, I'm trying to pull up the plan here so you guys can really see.
I'll take your word for it. I just want to know this.
Yeah, that's nice.
Justin, the question was, is you're going to demolish the current buildings, correct?
Yes, there's one residential structure there.
Right. The Keogh's owned that for a long time.
Yeah, so as you can see on your screen, hopefully all of you can see that there's a house here. There's a vacant lot next to it. So we can.
They want to know what the garage behind it, that big one,
The
right?
garage behind it as well would be part of this layout.
That big, the white brick building that used to be a auto repair shop, that's included too?
Yeah, let me look at the aerial again here.
Kehoe's sold us the
So
house.
yes, that would be part of the
Okay.
house lot. So
So the
that's
city
all
owns
included.
Okay, and will it be included, will it actually built onto the empty lot in the middle there too?
Yeah, right now, let me look at the plan here.
That's gonna be a nice facility.
Yeah, it would be all three of those lots that you see in front of you.
All three of those lots, really? Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, the only question I have is that, there's no traffic issue with egress on this one, is that correct?
No, I mean, currently the parks facility is, they have a maintenance facility at this corner, but because of the mixed-use development happening as a part of the Buffalo Street project,
Yeah.
they have to relocate. So really, you're not adding much more traffic than already exists.
Right.
They're just sliding down the road to the south.
Sure.
All right, very good. I assume that concludes your comments, and we'll open it up to speak in favor. Justin, is that also going to be you?
I mean, we can, I don't think they sent a rep, but you can take my comments as a favorable recommendation. I don't think we need to elaborate too much more on that, but we can give out the number again if you would like, and just make sure there's no public comment on that.
Well, let's do the number out again, and I'll move on to, is there anyone that would like to oppose this particular petition this evening? And we'll open the phone lines now. Justin, give them the number one more time.
So 574-377-0287. That's 574-377-0287.
Last time I did this much talking in dead air, I was actually auctioning off things for a fundraiser.
Well, Mr. President, if we have a couple minutes, Justin, can you tell us a little bit about what the building will look like? I mean, is it going to be something that kind of has a nice look for the neighborhood?
So yeah, if you look at your packet here, I wish we had the images scanned in because it's a really nice building, modern but not too. It won't contrast or conflict with any of the structures in the area. But it's a really nice modern facility that they're looking at building. It has a kind of a neighborhood feel, but it's still definitely modern and an upgrade from what they currently have. So the Parks Department's worked really hard on getting these plans together and getting a facility that will really help them maintain Center Park.
Hey,
What kind of
Rick,
materials will the outside walls be made of?
It doesn't have a key on the plan, but it looks like they varied the materials to give that architectural interest. But I don't have a list of what materials would be used. But they have a couple cantilevered shade structures, and it just looks like a modern facility with some new street trees that will be planted in front of it. So yeah.
hey, Rick.
It's 2 blocks away. It's near and dear to my heart.
Hey, Rick. It looks nice.
Okay. Dan says so. That's all I need.
Actually, I'd have to agree with that. It does. It's a nice looking.
It does look nice.
All right. All due respect, Justin, I've got 7:49. Has there been any phone calls? Anybody called in?
We have not received any messages or calls.
All right, very good. In that case, we'll close this matter and move on to the motion. We have a motion on this petition.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
So moved by Rick. Tammy, did you come in with a second?
No.
Dan.
I tried, but I think someone beat me to it.
Oh,
Dan did.
I didn't hear anybody
Dan
else.
seconded.
Dan
Yeah,
seconded.
Dan did.
All right. All right, that's very good. The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Tom,
I approve.
Rick,
I approve.
Tammy,
I approve.
Dan,
I approve.
and Jeff.
Approve. Motion carries unanimously. Is there any other matters that would come before this board?
Oh, one thing, we'd like to introduce our new assistant planner. He's joined us, so he's gonna be helping Jeremy and myself, in the planning department. So, Johnny, do you wanna say a couple words or introduce yourself to the board?
Hi, I'm Johnny. I just moved here from the Cleveland, Ohio area after graduating from Ohio State. I started on the planning department right before, everything got weird. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys. Yeah.
We're really excited to
Welcome
have.
to the team,
Welcome
Johnny.
aboard. Welcome to Warsaw.
Yeah, welcome.
So we're really,
Johnny, do you have a family? Are you married? Or are you moving this in from Cleveland by yourself?
It's just me.
Okay, very good. Well, with that, nice to meet you. Any other matters, Justin?
no, I think that's it.
Motion
There
to...
are no other questions or comments, Mr. President. I move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Tammy. All those in favor, roll call.
Go, Justin, go.
Oh, sorry. One more time. Tom,
Yes, I approve we adjourn.
Rick,
Approve.
Tammy,
Approve.
Dan,
Approve.
Jeff.
Approve.
All right.
Motion carries. We stand in adjournment. Before we jump off, there's got to be a couple of ways we can speed this up, even for the adjournment. There's got to be a way to do it. Anyway, everybody have a great evening, and I hope we had a great weekend. I'm signing off. Take care all.
Good job. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
What do I sign this? This one?
What is that?
Decline it.
I can't see because I don't have my glasses.
You don't have your glasses?
No, I left them on the table.
Oh, boy.
Justin, will you help? Yeah.
What do we do?
You guys supposed to make sure he's.
I'm gonna watch right.